Welcome back. The second video of this lecture is on resources. We ask a simple question we have in facing sustainable development. Do we have enough resources to sustain? In this video, we review the history of exploitation of resources, food and hunger, and farming practice. After the review of food resources, with a brief summary and conclusion, we shall look at various resources we have and see what you can do to protect them. You are required to do a poster presentation on the resource you choose. Here is one example of food resource depletion leading to exploitation of fisheries. I used to live in this island called Newfoundland in Canada, where it's northwest of the Atlantic Ocean, and was famous as a fishing ground last century. Not anymore. When I was there mid-1980s, they tried many different policies to save the fish stock of Atlantic codfish. Soon after I left, in the 1990s, the whole stock collapsed. As you can see the curve there. And after 1 century, we have depleted the oceans. Other examples include coral fish and tunas. Actually, this is not just about fisheries. Overharvesting has devastating damage to fish population. The ecosystem, as the government banned trawling, 40,000 jobs gone as well. Sounds familiar? Same is happening in Hong Kong. Now, more than 75% of the fish from the wet market are from aquaculture, not by capture. Starvation is another problem, probably not totally linked to resource depletion. Famines have political and social causes. For example, the late 50s and 60s in mainland China, millions of people died with the Great Leap Forward movement. Recently, in 2006, 36 countries were on food aids. Natural disaster and socio-economic problems are equally important. Political oppression and armed conflicts are also root of the famine. At the same time, 2 billion adults are overweight on this planet. According to the healthy eating pyramid or food pyramid, daily exercise and weight control are most needed. We need more grains, fruits, vegetables, and healthy oils. Fish, poultry, eggs, nuts are needed. Vitamins and calcium supplements are needed, and less meat, sugary drinks are needed. Our practice is just the reverse, turning the pyramid upside down. Constant challenges persist. 2020, there will be 7.7 billion people, and more than half of them in the countryside or rural areas to be fed, with more foods, more cereals, more meat, etc. In 1995, 2,700 calories per capita, and now 2020, we need perhaps 2,900. The projected needs of nitrogen is 100% more. Water scarcity is the major concern. Is farming the solution? Pricing is important. We need renewable aquaculture, transgenic crops with insect resistance, and herbicide resistance for better productivity. Transgenic animals for faster growth. What is sustainable agriculture production? Here, 9,500 BC started with wheat domestication. Rice, cattle, sheep, goat. 2500 BC started with pesticide use using sulfur. 2000 BC, windmills. 1800 AD, fertilizers. Last century, we started to use pesticides like DDT. 1970 with genetically modified organisms, GMO, introduced to farming. We have 80% arable land farmed. We use integrated pest management, IPM, mixed culture, and biological controls. Interestingly, our crop yields are in the rise, and the prices are fluctuating a lot. They don't go any cheaper, not too expensive, as the prices could be regulated by government, like rice in Hong Kong. There are also other issues, like the increased corn production are for ethanol production, not for food supply. High yield wheat needs more fertilizers. Genetically modified foods, GM foods, are indeed in need. For example, GM papaya with viral resistance can grow faster with high yield and low price. They are very common in Hong Kong too. Usually, poor farmers can only grow traditional varieties. We are facing problems such as the area of arable land converted to housing, changed to grow economic species like flowers, water crisis, soil erosion caused by deforestation, desertification, and salinization. Solutions include fertilizers, new crop strains, or even genetically modified crops, and revegetation scheme. Chemical pesticides are still in great demand, including insecticides to kill insects, herbicides to kill herbs, fungicides to remove fungi, rodenticides to kill rodents. Half of the food lost to pests, hence pesticides like DDT are still being used, and DDT is needed to stop malaria. Glyphosate has a commercial name called Roundup, is used to control weeds. Using transgenic or genetically modified or GM crops make resistance to glyphosate. Here is some conclusions we have for this part of the lecture on population and resources. Here, for the food resources. Number one, famines usually have political and social causes. 2. Overeating and obesity are global issues. 3. Much foods are waste and the poor are starving. 4. Farming and aquaculture are feeding us. 5. Technological fixes. We use fertilizer, antibiotics, and GM foods. 6. Our farming system is vulnerable to climate change. After reviewing food resources, for students in my class, I have an assignment for you to do. It's about any resources that you may like to cover and present it in a poster. These resources could be water, oil, iron, coal, copper, tuna, timber, etc. A poster should have sufficient information but not overcrowded to express your views on any resources of its present situation, its overlook to 2050, sustainable use of it, and finally, a brief discussion and conclusion. Of course, you need to provide references and do not cut and paste any figures or tables online. Submit your poster with a signed Worry Guide form and use the relevant title of your poster with a name and resource chosen. Bye-bye.